The governor who just won't go away. That's the topic for tonight's Angle. John Kasich has been a headline of a Sunday show guest for now, 17 times since Trump's inauguration? And he used his latest Sunday show outing yesterday to convene a gun control talking group.
What I want to do is I want to get a group of reasonable people, pro-gun people, and those who favor limits on gun ownership, and I want to put them in a room and see if we can find some common ground.
Fascinating. And a month ago, he spent another.
The Republican Party cannot be anti-trade. The Republican Party can't be anti-immigrant.
Oh, yeah, he's still governor of Ohio, but he has zero constituency in the party, in the grassroots. And remember, he wouldn't even attend the Republican convention in his home state. I don't know if Kasich felt like he was just too humiliated to show his face in Cleveland. And don't you hate a sore loser? Even Detroit Mayor Coleman Young welcomed the GOP to the city of Detroit in 1980, and he was a Democrat. And though Kasich is a total washout nationally, let's face it, it's uncharitable to say, but he is, he's considering running in 2020 on something called a unity ticket with Democrat Governor John Hickenlooper of Colorado. That'll work. In his commentary, you can hear Kasich's simmering disdain for the party that so roundly rejected him. And his contempt for President Trump is now legendary. Perhaps, I was thinking back on this, I think it's one debate moment, perhaps from October of 2015, that really stuck in his craw. Let's watch.
This is the man that was a managing general partner at Lehman Brothers when it went down the tubes and almost took every one of us with us, including Ben and myself, because
this grudge against Trump, I don't just believe it at this point. John Kasich can go on all the Sunday shows he likes, and reporters will continue to celebrate him as the uber coolest never-Trumper of them all. But after all the bluster and the photo shoots and the camera time and the green room time, John Kasich is where he was at the end of the primary season. He's a man with enormous ambition and just minimal support, just a little bit. We may not know where Kasich is headed, but boy, do we know where he came from. Do you remember what his father did?
Well, let's start off with my father being a mailman. Well, Megan, my father was a mailman, and my father was the mailman. They called him John the Mailman, like my dad, the mailman, John the Mailman. And I got to tell you, my father carried mail on his back.
I like mailmen. And speaking of mail, this will soon be landing in the mailboxes of unfortunate GQ subscribers everywhere. In their Man of the Year edition, Gentleman's Quarterly has named Colin Kaepernick Citizen of the Year. The man who started the NFL kneeling epidemic during the national anthem, the man who inspired his fellow players to break faith with their audience, the man who's responsible for the league losing millions in merchandising and tickets and viewers, is being hailed by a men's fashion magazine as an exemplary citizen. If you're looking for exemplary citizens, I have a few. How about Stephen Williford, the Texas man who confronted and pursued that church shooter in Sutherland Springs? Or how about Houston Texans star J.J. Watt? He raised $37 million for Hurricane Harvey victims. And by the way, GQ also named Stephen Colbert the bad hombre of the year. Well, I suppose if you hate President Trump, stage protests and complain, well, you're instantly something of the year at GQ. The good news is Kaepernick and Colbert made our year-end cut as well. Not sure if they're going to be celebrating this honor, though. And that's the Angle. That's all. And Juanita, we actually have a full screen, I think, of that tweet, that Chelsea Handler, that totemic intellect. Imagine being molested by an older man. She said, then that man denies ever doing it and goes on and gets elected to the United States Senate. What kind of message does that send? And then you tweeted back at her, hello, remember me. Yeah. And again, a lot of these people